When I first saw the price of this SLAM scanner, I honestly didn't expect much, but after testing it on real site, it proved me wrong. I thought it would struggle, but it went way beyond what I expected. This is the SHARE SLAM S20, one of the most affordable SLAM scanners you can buy, and today I'm gonna show you exactly how it performs in real world conditions. So in this video I will cover 3 things: how easy it is to set up and start scanning, how accurate the results really are, and what types of projects is best suited for. Because not everyone can afford the $50,000 laser scanning, and that's exactly what makes this test interesting. On the Share UAV website, the price is around $5,000 before taxes. For that price, you get a lightweight 1 kilogram SLAM scanner with a Livox mid 360 LiDAR sensor capturing 200,000 points per second and reaching up to 70 meters. It also includes an RTK antenna and 2 1-inch 16 megapixel cameras with mechanical shutters. So on paper it looks surprisingly capable for a scanner in this price range. In the box you will find everything you need to start scanning: the scanner itself, a battery handle, a 256 gig SanDisk SD card with adapter, and a phone mount and a fast charger with cable. And here is something nice: the Share Point Cloud Studio post-processing software is included for free. Before I go further, just a quick note: Share sent me this S2 unit for testing, but this video isn't sponsored. They didn't pay me and they had no say in what I say here. Everything you will hear is based on my own experience, and they will see this video for the first time when it's published, just like everyone else. Now to get started, install the Share Capture app on your phone, connect it to your scanner and you're good to go. Press start, enter your RTK course details, name your job, set your photo interval, place it on a flat surface for initialization, and you are good to scanning. The battery lasts about 1.5 hours, which is actually quite good for its size. The post-processing software is straightforward to use. You can export as LAS or PLY files, clean up your point cloud, and make slices for quality control. One small limitation: RTK Fusion only supports horizontal coordinate conversion for now, so heights are ellipsoidal. The Share team said they will fix this small issue in the future software update. In my workflow, I use the minimum 4 ground control point survey with the GNSS rover for geo-referencing. It only added 5 to 10 minutes on site, and honestly, I still trust GCPs more than coarse RTK signals, even with the RTK mapping. But the real question isn't how easy it is to start scanning, it's how accurate the results are. This scanner uses SLAM technology, which builds a 3D map as you move using LiDAR and motion sensors to track your path. Your walking speed, route, and surrounding all affects accuracy. Most people go wrong here. They buy a SLAM scanner, walk for 10 minutes and expect millimeter accuracy. So before judging the S2 performance, I wanted to make sure I wasn't making the same mistake. To get good results, you need to start and finish in the same spot, move slowly, no fast turns or jerky steps, and walk in loops and figure eights instead of long straight lines. Think of it like filming a video. The smoother you move, the cleaner the data is. For survey level accuracy, you still need control points. Place targets, measure them with GNSS or total station, and link your scanner in post-processing. SLAM also needs to see things like walls, trees, and fences. Anything with textures helps. If you scan an empty field, it will drift. So stay close to solid surfaces or use ground control points to keep it stable. With a good technique, you expect around 1 to 2 centimeters indoor or 3 to 5 centimeters outdoor, and even closer with good ground control points. But theory is one thing. What really matters is how it performs when the environment gets messy, and it does. So could a $5,000 handheld scanner really match a GNSS rover? Let's find out. Over the past few weeks, I used the Share SLAM S20 on construction sites, topo surveys, busy roads, and building interiors, really pushing it to the limit. Here is one of my first tests. I scan a busy road and use GNSS control points to geo-reference the point cloud. Then I survey manholes and gullies with my MLEAD RS3 rover and compare them against the SLAM data. The worst difference was 52 millimeters, about the same you would expect from a GNSS rover. I also ran a quick test for relative accuracy, scanning an old house and checking some distances with an electronic tape. The difference was around 1 centimeter. When I checked the point cloud quality, the data stayed clean up to 30 to 35 meters. From my test, the spread was roughly 1 centimeter depending on surface and site conditions. Beyond that, it gets a bit noisy, still impressive for such a small LiDAR sensor. That's what surprised me the most. A scanner at this price actually holding up against survey level accuracy. I will probably run more specific field tests soon, so if you like to see more, hit that subscribe button. So accuracy wise, it performed better than I expected. Not every environment is friendly for SLAM. Some makes it shine, others just throw it off completely. While it's impressive for the price, it's not meant to replace your GNSS rover or total station on large open sites. Where it shines is in tight or complex environments where GNSS doesn't work or setting up a total station and a tripod takes too long. Think like building interiors, underground car parks, tunnels, or construction sites with limited sky visibility. It's great for as-builts, stockpiles, and small area topos without full control network. It also works well in industrial plants, basements, and even under tree canopy as long as you move slowly and loop around solid features. Some environments do cause trouble, like big open fields, flat car parks, and long corridors. You'll see drifts because there is nothing to track. If that happens, use GNSS or place temporary objects for reference. In the right environment, the SHARE S20 really performs. For around $5,000, it's one of the most affordable SLAM scanners you can buy, and it delivers solid results as long as you understand its limits. The trade-offs are it's not built for large open surveys or long-range topographical work, and it doesn't have the same polish or high-end systems like the Navis or the Regal, but those cost 10 to 20 times more. Who is it for? It's for survey companies, drone operators, and construction professionals who want quick, reliable 3D scanning without spending tens of thousands of dollars. Combine it with drone mapping and RTK, ground controls, and you've got a complete, efficient, and affordable site capture solution. So, was I right when I underestimated? Honestly, no. After using it on real projects, this little scanner genuinely earned my respect, and it got me thinking. If a compact SLAM scanner can deliver this kind of accuracy, could a tiny drone do the same for inspection work? I decided to find out with the DJI Mini 5 Pro, and the results genuinely surprised me. Click here to watch this video next and see if this small beast can really handle serious inspection jobs.